on religion. So let's consider this. I'm Christian, so in Christianity we say that in the end, in the last days, that the one true church will be united with our Lord Jesus. So basically, to be considered a Christian, you have to be a follower of Christ, and how you follow Christ is following his commandments. And what Jesus did is he made it simple in that he gave us one commandment, one of which it was to love. So basically, if you have love, and more so not just to Jesus Christ but to people and the world in general, in such a manner, you are a follower of Christ. And so if you're a follower of Christ, it means you're a Christian. So basically, being a Christian is someone who believes Jesus is God. That's the basis of it. So that's the religion of Christianity. So if we look at Christianity as a religion, we see that what its basis is the belief of Jesus as God. So if we remove the Jesus part and say someone who believes in God, so we can now set it as religion being a belief in God. So that being the basic fact, we can look at other religions and how they believe in God. So if we consider Islam does not believe in Jesus as God, but it does recognize him as a figure to be noted. How Islam is that they believe in Allah, of who he is also the God of the Jews, the God of Abraham. These three religions, Judaism, Islam and Christianity, they all believe in the God of Abraham, but how they believe is completely different. So we see it started with Judaism. So the Jews believed in the God of Abraham and they believe in the coming of the Messiah. But when Jesus Christ was born, there are those who didn't believe in Jesus, and so they stayed Jews while those who believed in Jesus became Christians. So this is where we see Christianity coming into play. And later we see Prophet Muhammad is born, and he is who brings up Islam, because seeing when Muhammad was born, it was a place that was full of idol worship. So he didn't really he wasn't really into the idol worship, because he saw how it was affecting the society in a negative manner. And so he brought up the monotheism. They believe in the God of Abraham, but not as Christians, but with recognition to the importance of Christianity and also Judaism. Because if you look at how when it was starting, how they treated their fellow believers in the God of Abraham, it was lighter than on pagans. So that's based on Islam. So comparing these two religions, Christianity and Islam, you see the set of rules that come by being of that particular religion are completely different but with the same goal. In Christianity, we have said they believe Jesus is God. In Islam, they don't believe Jesus is God but only recognize him as a servant of God. So, what they believe is that God is supreme, and in no manner should we equate someone to his stature. And so, how they live their life is in according to this belief that God is only supreme and in heaven. So those are these two religions. They both have the fact that you should believe in God as their basis. And so believing in God is not just saying that you recognize him as someone in your life, but also that you follow his commandments, and the commandments are given in that particular religion. In Christianity, it's just to love, but in Islam, I consider it's your good deeds should outweigh your bad deeds. Yeah, I think that's how it's in Islam. So yeah, so it means following these commandments. That's what they consider as believing in God. So moving from these two monotheist religion, we can go to polytheist religions. So in polytheist, they see God not just as one significant factor, but multiple attributes of him are given a specific representation. And so we see how all these other gods starts to be accounted upon. So for them, it's more of they worship one particular aspect of God or multiple particular aspects of God. But in such as Hinduism, yes, all these other gods do are given account for their existence, but they do believe in one supreme God, the God of all gods. So even then we see like a sort of incline to having one supreme being, like in the monotheists. This is also, even if you consider in paganism, where they don't even believe in God. We can't really say that's a religion, or I don't know. But looking at paganism, they consider that there is no God. But still, they do have a set of rules of which they have to live by. So, this believing that there is no God, but having a strict set of rules that considers ethics and morals also sets a presentation of the basic thing that God is teaching, and even other gods are teaching, manifesting itself in the physical world, where even if you do not consider their existence, they still affect us. And so, for pagans who believe that there is no God, they still have to relate in a rather positive manner to their fellow human beings so as to coexist in peace and in harmony, for not adhering to such principles brings what misunderstandings and such. So yeah, even in science, what science does is it will try to explain what is around us, but without the factor of God in it. They want to see that something will come into existence despite the existence of a supreme being. And what this does is it brings what is it? I guess voids in information, where you have to fill them with theories. Theories basically trying to explain what might be the root of a particular something. So yeah, we test theories using science, and from the results that we obtain, we either confirm the theory or misconfirm it. Yeah. So if a theory is confirmed, so it tends to lean towards another theory where you have to solve that, maybe not at that particular moment, but at a later point. The principles are used even in different states. Let's say in classical physics and in quantum physics, the same principles may be used but in a different manner. And so we see that a particular fact remains a fact even despite the scale, be it at a cosmic scale, at the human scale, the atomic scale, the quantum scale. Particular facts tend to remain in practicality. And so you see that, let me say it in, even in Christianity, it says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So this single fact, which remains valid in principality despite the scale, you can consider it as that particular word, and that in itself is God. Because believing in this particular fact, of which you do what? You follow by it, in which you consider it in whichever way, and not disregarding it, makes your research life, whatever, easier. And in such manner, it's the same principle that occurs even in religions, where you have to follow a commandment to be considered that you believe in it.